Congratulations on the win tonight. How does it feel to get back in the win column?
It feels amazing, just especially with all the controversy of switching camps and going to Thailand, but then having to come back because of the corona and then finding a new gym and just everything that's going on in this world and being able to put together a huge win like that with all the hard work I put in. I feel really rewarded right now, and God is so good.
And talk a little bit about kind of the changes that you made on the run up to this fight and what you've been working on that's kind of paid off here tonight.
It was just something I'm always grateful for my gym, Factory X. Those guys are my base, my foundation, my structure, but I just felt I needed to do something more mentally for me. I'm a guy who's always in the middle of controversy. They call me the king of controversy, especially in this fight week. And I felt like I was getting too settled down, too comfortable with my surroundings. So I needed to mix things up and move to Thailand. And then I had to come back and I had to just be on the fly the whole time, find new gyms, find new training partners. And the whole thing that everyone is focused with me is movement. Use my movement to set up that big right hand, use the kicks, use the movement, and it worked and it paid off tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing on the run up to this fight was, your cornerman testing positive. Obviously, it was a false positive. What was that like dealing with that? Because obviously there were reports that you may not be fighting. So what was that like to process, especially with everything that you've gone through on the run up to this fight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they don't call me the king of controversy for nothing. It was crazy. I mean, I got my phone blown up in the morning and my cornerman had to run downstairs and they said he was tested positive and basically they said you're off the card, but then we realized he had been encountered with all the other fighters. So basically the whole card was in jeopardy. Everyone could have been pulled. And, we just thought it didn't make sense. And then we found out the test was inconclusive and then it was positive. So we said, test him again. The UFC did a great job on isolating him, taking safety precautions, getting him tested again. And once we did, it came back negative. And I had to put my phone down for like 5 hours because the internet was going crazy. My family was going crazy. My fight was supposedly off, but I knew we just had to stick to our guns, keep cutting weight. And then once the test came back, we were ready to go and I was back on the card.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll go next to James Lynch with the score. Your line is open.
Ian, congratulations. Lynch. What's up? Congratulations. Huge win tonight. Almost a statement victory. Do you feel like you kind of reminded the division tonight that you're still one of the top guys at 185 pounds?
Yeah, 100%. All this hard work and all this change I've been doing, man, it paid off tonight. And the whole mantra of this whole camp and the 2 training camps have been telling me is my movement. Use my movement to set up the big right hand. And instead of just rushing in and trying to take their head off, that's what I felt like I was trying to force the knockout. Tonight, I just let it come and it came.
Gerald's sort of been known as a slow starter. Did you notice that when sort of watching tape, or your coaches notice that at all? And if so, did that sort of make you want to go out there and, kind of go guns a-blazing like you did and get the finish?
No, not really. He's kind of slow the whole fight, but he's sneaky. He's dangerous. He's a journeyman. He's in there to endure and catch you in a choke. So I just really had to just fight my fight, and that was using my movement. And once he's coming into my range and getting close to me, I knew I had to unload the big right hand.
And Gerald had mentioned in my interview that Brendan Allen was supposed to fight you initially, but Brendan couldn't take the fight. Is that a fight that would interest you, especially with you guys both being former LFA alumni?
Not really. I think it's a few more wins and a number by his name that would interest me a lot more. But I'm looking ahead, and maybe Brad Tavares, Uriah Hall, someone who's ranked. I felt like I put a statement. If it was going to be a close fight, maybe I would have to fight someone unranked again. But I feel like with a big statement like that, I'm ready to turn back around and keep climbing the rank.
And last one for me. I know the plan was always to move to Thailand. They talked about that in the broadcast. Any update on that? Obviously, we're dealing with some travel restrictions, but do you have sort of an idea of when you plan to move your entire family out there?
I have my flight and my wife booked for early July, and supposedly the borders are going to open a few days before that. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. That's still the plan, and we're excited to get back out there.
And sorry, I do have one more. Are you going to have some sugar tonight? I know you've been off the sugar for a while. Do you get to enjoy a little bit tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm probably going to have some ice cream, and I'm going to try to go a little bit slower this time because sometimes I go so hard and then I feel like crap for 2 days. And the last thing I want to do with this adrenaline high I'm on is feel like crap.
Enjoy the win tonight, Ian.
Thanks, James.
We'll go next to Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And Ian, first of all, congrats on the win. I'm just curious, coming into this on the first two-fight losing streak of your career, I mean, how much pressure did you put on yourself to pull out the win here?
You know, I tried to take the pressure off myself because I feel like the fight against Omari, you know, like you said, I've never had 2 wins or 2 losses in a row. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I feel like it affected me. So the only thing I expected out of myself with this fight was to perform and trust my training. And the whole mantra of this camp and everything was movement. And I used the kicks in my movement to set up the knockout instead of trying to force it, which I've done in the past.
And the environment, something we've been talking about for the last couple of events, the empty venues. You fought on the Contender Series, which is a smaller field, I guess. But how did that compare to the empty venue tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of similar. Like, as I was walking out, I was like, Contender Series vibes. That's what I kept yelling because it kind of felt like that. It almost like I almost liked it a little bit. It was very intimate with myself. You know, I blocked out everyone and I just was like with me and my God, Jesus Christ. And I was just focused on those 2 things. And I kind of liked it.
And last one for me. I know you talked about getting a ranked opponent. What about turnaround time? Do you have any idea when you'd like to fight again?
Honestly, I'm gonna just try to enjoy this weekend and this coming week. Who knows? You know, if the borders are still closed for another month, I might turn around real quick. I know they need fighters for these upcoming shows, and I'm completely healthy and ready to go. So I'm just gonna kind of just reevaluate that with my team, my manager Jason House and Iridium Sports, and just kind of see what looks best. But I'm healthy and ready to go. So when you feel ready and you're ready to go, I'm usually ready to jump back in, but we'll see with the moving to Thailand and everything. We'll see.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on the win tonight. Thanks very much.
We'll take our final questions from Jim Varsalone with the Miami Herald. Your line is open.
Yeah, thank you so much. You talked about the new team and the transition and doing something like that. When you're in that process, how much second guessing goes into it when you're first starting and then trying to get comfortable with the new team and then finally being like, okay, great. Hey, you got the big win tonight right away, so it all worked out. But just going through the process, what is it like?
Yeah, you know, it's always a little bit different when you have new training partners and new coaches. But, you know, I feel like I thrive in that chaotic moment like that, you know, where there's no stability really in your life. And for some reason, that's the cards that God has given me. And I feel like I thrive in that situation. So it did take a little while, and I just put it up to the big man upstairs to lead me to the right people. And he sure did. And it was just an amazing vibe. We had a flow all week, and it really paid off.
Was the game plan to go out and just take care of business early? I mean, talked about you could go the distance, but was the game plan just to go out there and let's get this guy out of here right away?
I mean, that's always the game plan, man. If I can get in there, knock someone out and cash a check, that's a great night. But no, I mean, the whole game plan was just movement. Use my movement, stay moving. Use my leg kicks, use my movement, my feints, and that set up the big right hand. Once he closed and stepped into my range, I knew I had to unload the right hand, and it just caught him perfect.
Is that something, too, you and your team saw when you're watching past fights? Hey, let's try to incorporate the movement, because you mentioned that in an earlier question and answer, too. And this is going to set things up, and boy, it paid off. But was that sort of the mindset?
Yeah, and it was actually from my team watching my own fights. I felt like I didn't have the best movement. I took a picture of my work always. So every time I would almost stand there and then I would get countered really hard. So I just had to stay constantly movement, and that movement helped set up the knockout.
And then also for me, you mentioned about moving everyone over to Thailand. So what is that going to be like? You say you like chaos and you like all that type of thing and all. But boy, I mean, that's a big move for you and family.
Absolutely, you know, and I've lived all over the world, and it's just what I do. It's who I am. I love experiencing new cultures, and My wife's along with this crazy ride with me, and yeah, we're gonna move the whole family out there. We might split camps. We might bring coaches out there. I'm excited for a new adventure. New adventures excite me. When I'm excited, I fight good and I learn a lot.
Hey, you could fight on Fight Island too, then.
That's what I'm pumped about. That's right up my alley. I love the ocean. I love the beach. I thrive on an island.
Hey, congratulations and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. You're all set.
You guys. All right.